Do you get biggest band in Britain? I mean, I went to see you at Nebworth. And I don't go to those sort of things. I was already too old, and it was fucking amazing. Yeah. And what was amazing about it was, I loved Oasis. I loved everything you did. I really do. It was refreshing. It was fucking refreshing. It was like punk kicking Genesis and Yes to me. Oasis coming out, really, because all the Britpop and all that. Oh, anyway, I'm not going to slag anything off, but it was my sort of thing, right? Yeah, but the amazing thing was that it seemed to me that everyone liked Oasis. It reached a critical mass. Am I remembering that wrong?
Yeah, no.
Because you were like an indie band. You came out and you're an indie band. Oh, they're pretty good. Oh, they're better than that. And I remember you saying in an interview once, you really start making money when you get the squares.
Yeah.
And everyone from fucking bankers to football hooligans to musicians.
About that time, wasn't it? About Britpop, for want of a better word.
Well, I've been when the documentary came out last year, the Supersonic documentary. I did a round of press for it.
Brilliant, by the way.
And you started kind of talking about the 90s, and it's only really now people are remembering that decade, how brilliant it was.
It was brilliant.
Where there was like and
I was too old.
An endless kind of. Each sitcom that came out was better than the last one. It was like the Royal Family, and then there was the Fast Show, and then it
then
just
the
kept
Office,
the
pinnacle,
going up and up.
And send it there,
and then it kind of tailed off a bit when you get to the 2000s or whatever you call it. But kind of talking about it, I was thinking it was a great time. You know what I mean? It was like fashion, music, politics, art, everything was kind of vital.
But Ricky's
there was also something else that was strange. Because the youth culture and the drug culture was weird. Because out of rave, right, you had working class geezers dropping E's as well. Now that didn't happen.
Yeah, they were like football hooligans who kind of went to raves and were like, wow.
And then suddenly, like, even stuff like Smack get into sort of the estates.
I'm sure that had happened before.
No, but what I mean is, it was almost like it seemed like it was drugs were now a working class movement. They weren't just college hippies and stuff.
There was no experimenting with drugs. Everyone was getting stuck in.
Going out and doing, and they were doing it every night.
Yeah, but you're right. Also, that the fact that when you had that thing with Blur, it was on the news. Who was going to be number one? The news at 10. Yeah. There's this strange thing that couldn't happen now and wouldn't have happened before. I don't think either. No. That suddenly that seemed to be incredibly.
Well, it was just a moment in time. I mean, when we got to do that documentary again, when we come up with the idea for the film. And the guy said, we're going to focus on that period of the 2.5 years from you signing off to play Nebworth. And I went, right, what? 2.5 years from signing off the dole to walking on stage at Nebworth.
Is that true?
And I went, I'm going to check that. That can't be true.
Yeah.
2.5 years. And I was like,
that is incredible.
I mean, I do tours now that are longer than that. And like you come back and the world has changed. I was like, wow, that's an incredible.
It took me 2.5 years to get The Office on telly after writing it. Never know. Do you know what I mean?
It's like incredibly quick.
That's incredible.
And they were saying, how did you deal with it? And I was like, it's the only time you're telling me now. I've kind of got goosebumps and thinking, wow, that was quick, At the time, we were just in it, and then you'll kind of go from one gig to the next.
I did remember it wrong as well, or I never knew it, because at the time, you kicked the door down and you were there, right? Yeah. It was there,